So what fun things are we creating today with these gorgeous barrels of paint? Guys, guess what we're making today? Something so super cute you're going to scream. So these are gonna be summertime super cute vibe earrings and maybe a bit of a southern vibe, but I'm southern, so hey, you know, chill. I'm just kidding. You're gonna love it, so creative. We're gonna make ladybug and watermelon earrings. Let's get started. So today, what you're gonna need for what we're getting ready to make is you're gonna need some circles. I don't know that I needed another pack of these, but I wanted that size, and I think I had used up all the sizes I had, so I only had the little ones. So I got a pack of these. These were $3.99 at Michael's. If you do a text where you allow Michael's, you sign up for emails from Michael's, you'll get a 25% off coupon, and I was able to get 25% off of every item I purchased today. So that's a way around that little 50% off coupon that they're not sharing too often now. I was able to use it on all the stuff I got today. So this was one of the items I got. I got a 180 piece pack of fish hook earring wires. For some reason I couldn't find the pack I already had. I also ended up getting a flexible clay cutter because I had the same blade that I've had for years. Like when I lived in Virginia, I've lived in my current home in North Carolina for 17 years. So that tells you how old that blade was, probably 20 to 30 years old. So I went on and bought a new one. This was $6.99. I think these were $4.99. And then I ended up getting my favorite kind of paint. I've told you before that I love the Americana multi-surface satin paint. It just has a great coverage, and so I had bought white paint before, but remember the last time how hideous those earrings came out? That was the blooper video. I took all that paint back to Hobby Lobby, and so when I was at Michael's, I picked this up. I already have, this is the shade of lipstick. It's called Lipstick. It's really beautiful red. We're gonna be using that to make our project today. This is white, and this is actually called Cotton Ball. I think I did already have that, but I took it back by accident because it was a bigger size and I wanted a smaller size. And then I got a black, and this is called Black Tie. So I love their names. So that's so cute, Cotton Ball, Black Tie, and Lipstick. So that's what you're gonna need for what we're getting ready to make right now. And so these are like some summer earrings I just had in mind that popped up in my head on the way from showing houses. And I was like, I'm gonna make those today. So guess what we're gonna make? We're gonna make some ladybug earrings. I think they'll be so cute. So I think that I want them to be two-part, but I'm not sure just yet. So we're gonna go ahead and paint the bases just in case I decide to make them two parts. So we're gonna make the bases red. So you're just gonna need your paint. You're just gonna need a brush. I use regular acrylic brushes. I don't use the natural hair brush. I told you that before. In case you're new to my videos, welcome. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, give it a thumbs up. I don't use the natural hair because it gets hair all in your projects, and I don't like that. So I'm gonna go off camera, take all the plastic off these new bottles of paint, shake them up, and we'll be right back to paint the bases. That'll give you time to get all your stuff too. Be right back. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the base painted. So we're just gonna put some of the red paint out, and you shouldn't need that much. That's probably way more than you'll need. And we'll go ahead and paint the bases. And I always try to paint in the direction of the wood grain. But of course, either way, you're gonna do 2 or 3 coats. You don't need 2 or 3 coats of this, but if you're just someone that likes to put extra coats on, you can. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to gloss these over or not. I probably won't. I may leave them just like they are. I think they'll be super cute without a gloss. But if you wanna do like a matte finish or a gloss finish with some Mod Podge, you definitely could do that, because it's going to dry clear, so it won't affect your design in any way. But if you want some shiny ladybugs, you can do that too. I just hadn't gone that far in my mind to see if I'm going to make them shiny or matte. I'm thinking right now, because I want them to, they're going to dry really quickly, and they'll be ready to turn into earrings super quick. And I want this video to not be so long. So we're going to get all our bases painted. I'm doing the edges while we're doing that too. Look how great coverage that is. That's what I love about the satin finish paint. Again, it's the Americana multi-surface satin. It just has a really great coverage to it. So we're gonna paint the sweet little circles red too. And you know, once you put your paint out, of course you probably already know this, but if you're new to making earrings, if you put this inside of a Ziploc bag, your paint plate, this right here with your paint still on it that you haven't used up, it'll last for 2 or 3 days or longer, as long as no air gets in there. So if you accidentally put too much, pour too much paint out and you need to save it, then you can definitely go and do that. So I'm gonna let these fronts dry, and then we're gonna paint the back as well. I hope y'all are having a great weekend. I feel like time has gone by so fast. Just the same time last weekend, we were in DC. We had such a great time. We were there from Thursday through Sunday, I believe. Had a great time. Ate some delicious food. It's always great to get back to the District of Columbia. We were in Old Town, that's where we stayed, and then we hung out in DC and hung out in Old Town. Got to see family. We had a beautiful time. And then we came back. And vacation, doesn't it always seem to go fast? It's like, look, when it's time to work and you're working up to vacation, it just drags on. And then once you get there, the day just seems to fly by, right? Especially if you leave the hotel room late or like after 12, it's like the whole day is like, dang, what happened to vacation time? So super pretty, great coverage. I'm gonna go ahead and put the second coat over on the little ones too. Again, this is gonna be a pair of Ladybug earrings. I haven't made these before, but I'm just envisioning Ladybugs with their little tuxedo looking outfits, which is cute because the paint is called black tie. And by it being called black tie, doesn't that fit kind of with the little ladybugs look like they have on a tuxedo, like the penguins? So super cute. We're gonna let that dry right quick. And I am gonna put these on the paper to dry, so then the red paint, I can put that inside of a Ziploc bag and let it dry so it doesn't get dried out in case you want to use it for something else. I'll be right back. So while we're waiting on the Ladybug bases to dry, we're going to make the next earring today, which is going to be a watermelon wedge earring. So I can't remember if I made these before. I don't know. I know I have some. I know I made them. I just can't recall if I made a video. So if so, forgive me if it's a repeat for you, but for everyone else, it's going to be a new and fun project. So you're still going to need your little circles. So glad I bought 2 of these. And I love that these are just gonna be, what's the word I'm looking for? Like nostalgic, right? So what I mean by that is, like they're gonna be like a regular size. They're just gonna be, we're not gonna make them post. They're just gonna be sweet little dangle fishhook earrings. I'm not gonna put an extra piece up here on them. So what you're gonna need for your watermelon earrings is I have 2 different colors of green that we're gonna be using. I need to go find my buttermilk paint. And then you're gonna pick some pink that is like closest to the watermelon color you want. So I think I want my watermelon to be this one maybe, but that seems more like a super ripe watermelon. But you pick and decide which one you want. I think I'm gonna do maybe a mix of the 2. And then you're gonna need a dotting tool for your watermelon seeds, and you're also gonna need the dotting tool for the little spots on the ladybug. So let's go ahead and make a decision about what we're gonna do here with the watermelon. I think I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna paint the green first or if I'm gonna paint the pink with the seeds and then do the green base. So while I figure that out, I'll be right back. I'm undecided about the watermelon color, so I need to shake that a little bit better because I noticed that some of the oil base came out with the, or whatever this is inside the acrylic paint. It wasn't mixed up so great. So that color seems just a little dark to me. I mean, it's pretty, but let me see what this one looks like. I think I'm gonna let my watermelon be this color. I'm gonna shake it a little bit better off camera. I just wanna let you see how I'm gonna decide which color to use. So that one's pretty too, but that seems very light for a watermelon. This one is probably closer to the actual color. Let's see if we mix them up, what we get. Because you know, what's wonderful about making jewelry and about making statement jewelry is you can customize your colors, especially if people try to copy your designs. I don't worry about stuff like that, but if you're someone that cares about people, you know, mimicking your design, customize it by using products and using colors and things that people cannot easily duplicate. And then you won't have to worry about that for the most part. So that's really pretty too, but that's still closer to the shade. Let's see. Just gonna mix it up a little bit more. I do like that, but I do think the other one's more watermelony. So since I've already mixed up this color and I like it for the most part, I'm just gonna add so the colors I'm using, this is Americana acrylic paint in Razzleberry. That's really pretty. This is the one that's the most watermelon looking color, and then this one is Anita's acrylic all-purpose paint in fuchsia, which is the one that wasn't as close to the watermelon. So I'm gonna add just a little bit more of the razzleberry, and then we're gonna paint our bases. So what we're gonna do is, I don't have triangle shapes, and so if I had triangle shapes, we could make it look like a slice of watermelon. So what we're gonna make them look like is just like a half a piece of watermelon cut open. That's how we're gonna do it, okay? So that's really pretty. So now that we got the color like we want it, we're gonna paint in the same direction as the wood grain. So this is going sideways. So we're gonna paint this way. And even though the edges of your watermelon are gonna be green, what I did on the last pair I made was, I believe that I painted this part pink, then I did this part back here green, and then I put the seeds in here. But in a watermelon, when you slice it open, normally you're gonna see green around the rind part, you're gonna see the pink in the center location, and then you're gonna see your seeds, and there'll be like a little white edge. So I'm kind of undecided of how we're gonna make it happen or what we're gonna do. So for now, I think what I'm gonna do is just half it like I did before. So I'm gonna make the pink top part the watermelon part, and then we'll do a green base, and then we'll put our seeds in here. Because that's just the, but you do your watermelon however you want it. If you want to do a whole wedge looking watermelon, knock your stuff out. I think that'll be pretty too. So that's how it looks so far. We're just gonna do its mate. They go together. Now keep in mind, this pink part is the top of the earring. I'm just holding it down this way so it's easier for you to see it. And watermelon is my favorite fruit in the whole world. Second to that, I think, is oranges. My least favorite is grapefruit, but believe it or not, I bought some grapefruit earlier this week. I am gonna try it. I'm gonna put sugar on it and see if I can tolerate it, because oranges and I we don't go well together, even though I like them. What's your favorite fruit? I love strawberries. That's one of my favorites. Blueberries, I'm not a fan of, but I eat them because they're healthy for you. But I've tried to like them more, only because I was reading about my blood type, and my blood type, those things are good for me. Melons and tangerines and oranges and stuff like that aren't. I'm an O type blood. So I've just been trying to follow along and see how I feel when I eat certain things, and make sure I'm eating stuff that makes me feel good, doesn't take my energy away. Because I notice, like, if I eat a lot of bread, I get sleepy, and then I feel bloated, my stomach's all gooey. So I'm like, just trying to be healthy and eliminate some things that don't work best for me. How about you? Have you been doing that? Have you been trying to eliminate some stuff from your diet? Like, y'all, when I make coffee, I put so much creamer in the coffee, it is ridiculous. And I was using the Nestle creamer, which is that powdered creamer. I think that's what it's called. Maybe it's Carnation. But I bought something from Sprouts called Leaner Creamer, and I really like it. It's coconut-based creamer, and it's powder, and it's really yummy. It's a hazelnut flavor. So I've been using that, which means I've been using less of it, and I've noticed a difference. I felt better. It's also a thermogenic creamer, which is kind of weird, but for people that are looking to lose weight, so I do like that as well. I've noticed that I haven't felt tired after I drink my coffee. Like before, I would drink my coffee and almost feel a little queasy. But again, I was putting so much creamer in there. So got the top part of our watermelon here. I'm gonna let it dry. The bottom part is gonna be the rind, and we're gonna do some striated designs in there so it looks like a watermelon on the outside. Then we're gonna put our seeds on there. So we're gonna sit these off to the side to dry. And then we'll come back after they dry, and then we're gonna do the green part, and then we'll add everything else. So it looks like the ladybugs are doing great. They still have to dry a little bit, and I wanna go ahead and paint the back. So then when we go to put the design on the front, we don't have to worry about getting red paint on our black design. So I'll be right back after these dry. Okay, you guys, so let's go ahead now, and I was looking for my brush. Let's paint the backs of the ladybugs. And see, look, I had done the little Ziploc bag so my red paint wouldn't dry out, because that's my favorite paint, so we're gonna need to use all of that yummy goodness, right? So again, you wanna paint in the same direction of the lines of the wood. So this wood grain on the back is going that way. And you don't need a bunch of coats. I mean, you can make your earrings look like you want. Like if you just want them to look like a wash, or if you want them to look, you know, heavily painted, you can do it that way. I'm just sitting them over there. There's a little plastic top. I mean, a plastic container I'm sitting them on so they don't stick. Because if you leave it on the paper, of course it's going to stick and you're going to have paper on your earring. Trust me, I've done that 20 million times. So this paper is just for illustrative purposes. It's really just so it shows up on camera and I'm not painting on the table, getting paint on the table. So finishing up the backs of these. And then because the pink is dry, I noticed that it has more, can't even talk. It looks more like a wash. So I'm gonna go ahead on the pink and do another coverage, another coat on there. I think my coffee has not processed and it's late in the day when I'm doing this video, y'all. So last little bit of red for the top of the ladybug. Make sure you get the edges. And now I'm gonna go rinse the brush off and then we're gonna go ahead and put another coat. See, it's nice and dry, but I noticed that I see some kind of white stripes through there. Like I can still see the wood base. So we're gonna go ahead and do another pink coat on there. Be right back. Okay, you guys, so now I picked two different greens, but we're gonna go with the darker green. And then what I'll do is I'll make like some striations on the clay with the lighter green color. Now this is a cheap green. I should have gotten a different brand, but this is paint that I already have on hand, but I'm just saying this is that Craft Smart paint, which I don't like. It's that cheap 59-cent brand from Michaels. And it just takes so many I cannot talk today. It takes so many different coats. However, I already got it out now, so we're gonna use it. And then the lighter color green, what we're gonna do with that, we're just gonna add like a few stripes. You know how the watermelon kind of has veins and variegated stripes in it? We're gonna do that. So that's what it's looking like so far. I may take the green stripe up just a little bit, so it looks even, like it's even pink and even green. So I think I'm gonna try to bring that green down some too, so it doesn't draw all clumpy. So already looking watermelonish, watermelony. So we're gonna sit that off to the side, let it dry. And then we're gonna put a good coat here. I shouldn't say I don't completely dislike the 59-cent paint. It just doesn't have the same great coverage as some of the other paints. But I think that you can still accomplish the same result for 59 cents. So that, especially if we want to be budget conscious as crafters. The other thing is it coagulates a little bit. So just think about that. It might not do that for you, but I've had this paint forever, so that could be a big part of it. No paint left behind. Okay. So it's looking very watermelonish. I think I'm gonna go up just a little, one more, just a smidge upwards. So it looks like equal watermelon rind and equal watermelon flesh, like the skin of the watermelon. And of course it's gonna take a couple of coats, but they're gonna be super, super cute. So that's gonna be pretty. And then what we're gonna do is while those are drying, we're gonna start putting the little detailing on our ladybugs. Be right back. Okay, so let's go ahead now and add the little accoutrements to the ladybugs. So I'm gonna have to get you as close as I can, but work towards myself. So what we're gonna do, just to give you an idea, is we're gonna do like a V shape, right? We're gonna do a triangle shape, and that's gonna give us the little ladybugs back, like where their wings open up and that little black spot that we see on ladybugs. So I'm just gonna make a spot first of the black, and you probably could do this using a more sharply angled brush. This brush does have a bit of an angle on it, but it's not a real sharp edge. So You could probably use a sharper angled brush to do it, or you could tape it off like I've done in some of the other videos I did where we use tape to do designs on earrings. You could do it that way as well. So that's what it looks like. I may take it up just a little bit higher, but let's go ahead and put the one on this one first, and then we'll see if we want to take it up higher. And what I'm doing is I'm just putting a little black on the edge back there. This probably wasn't the best brush, only because this one fans out a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let this part dry that we just put down, but I wanna perfect that point just a little bit. This is where I would normally say it doesn't have to be perfect, but I kind of want to have my perfect little ladybug. So let me take it over this way a little bit. You may hear my husband working on in the kitchen. He's replacing some wood behind the refrigerator. And if you don't get it perfect, you can just reshape, like return the ladybug around. So what I'm gonna do, instead of keep messing with it, I'm just gonna let it dry. So that's what they look like right now. And then based on some other ladybugs I saw, there was like a little line down the middle of the ladybug, but I want something a little bit sharper than what this is giving me because it's fanning out some, so I don't want that. So I'm gonna go find another brush that's a little bit tighter, or I may use this fine bristled brush because that might give me like the real thin line I'm looking for. So let me go rinse this one off. Okay, so now I wet this brush a little bit. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna run it through the black paint, get some of it off, and then we're just gonna do a line straight from that point down the center of the ladybug. Now what I don't love about this paint, although I love this particular brand, this particular black almost looks like a little charcoal gray instead of like a pitch black. So I'm gonna let this one dry, but I do have a pitch black paint that I'm gonna use, and I'm gonna go get that one and go over this after this coat dries. So we got our little center back down the ladybug, and it's starting to look ladybug-ish, right? So I got a little bit of black paint on the back, but we can always fix that. So that's the little back of the ladybug. And so, you know, we're making 2 pairs of earrings. So I was gonna try to fit the clay project on here as well, but I think it's gonna make it too long. So let's keep working with these 2 pair of earrings, and then we'll do the clay project on a separate video by itself. So let's go ahead and put our second coat of watermelon rind down here. Nice. And then we're gonna let that dry. So I think it's just really cool that we're getting to make 2 summertime earrings, because don't you see ladybugs all over the place? They're the cutest things, except for when they're in your house, right? We tend to have ladybugs around the bathroom window, which is just strange to me how they find their way into the bathroom window. They must be able to collapse or something. It's so weird. And sometimes around the kitchen window. Like, what do you want and where are you coming from? So I'm just taking off some of that paint. Looked like it was a little coagulated, so I want this to be smooth, so I pushed that off the edge. So got that done. And now I'm gonna go find my good black paint, because I don't like this one. That one's going back to the store tomorrow. Matter of fact, let me find my receipt and put her to the side. She has got to go back. Okay, I'll be right back. Let me go get my good black paint. Okay, so while the watermelons are still wet, I want to go ahead and add some variegation to those. So we're just gonna mix up a little bit of the lime paint. It's not called lime, it's called sour apple, one of my favorite green colors. I don't like sour apples, but I definitely like this green color. We're just gonna run some striations through there, right? Because you already know how watermelon, it has like mixed green colors. So that's what we're gonna do, is we're just gonna dot it around in there. So it looks watermelon-like. I saw a watermelon truck today, and by the time I remembered where I saw it, it was too far on the other side of town. I'm gonna have to hunt them down this week. And then I'm gonna go back over it with some of the darker green. And that way we're just making it look less flat, right? So it just gives it some dimension. So I'm just taking my brush and I'm just stippling, like doing a dotting technique. Not dotting, but like a stippling technique. And it's just gonna, I'm adding a little bit of the darker green back in there. So just putting that back in. And then I'm gonna have to go find my buttermilk color somewhere around here. I think it's outside, because I'm in the process of putting my craft products outside. I need to clean out my craft cabinet. It is a hot mess. And so to keep everything organized and keep it out of the house, I just put it out in the garage and I go and grab it as I need stuff. So look how pretty that is. So we're just gonna let that dry. Set those off to the side. And now I went and got the real black paint, not the imposter black paint, right? So this is black by Anita's. So this should be the good black paint. Because that other stuff, I'm like, I don't know what you got going on. I should have known when it came out looking gray. I don't know if you can even tell the difference or not, but that looks like a charcoal. I'm sorry, that looks like a charcoal gray, and this looks like a super black gray. I mean, a super black, dark black. So I love it, love it, love it. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go back over the Ladybug's line. Oh yeah, that's it. That's the black paint ticket. That other one was an imposter. So did that. Now we're gonna go over the little vein, I mean the little in the inner wing part of the Ladybug. And next, if I didn't mention it, you're gonna need your dotting tool or whatever you use to put polka dots on. If you don't have one, they have them at the Dollar Tree, but if you don't wanna spend any money to make this project, you can use the end of a pen or a pencil. You just need to find something that's really small that you can make polka dots with. So that looks so much better. That looks darker, that looks richer, that looks great. So let's redo this one. I'm just going straight down back over the same paint. And it's gonna take a minute to dry because it was a pretty thick coat that I put on there the first time. Okay. And then I'm gonna do that little bottom piece down there. And I'm not letting it dry on the paper because I don't want it to stick to the paper. So look, that looks so much better. So now, what we're gonna do while those are drying is we're gonna mess around with the little pieces that like the post back to the Ladybug. So what you wanna do is, I'm gonna use the chunkier dotting tool. I have 2 or 3 different dotting tools, but here they are. So they're 2-sided. They have, look how small they are. The dots are really tiny on those. And then they get a little bit larger on that one. But this is the largest one. So I love that one. I like all of them, but this is my favorite. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do some black polka dots. I'm just gonna dot it in there and then just start putting, I think I'm a double dot, just so you can decide how big your dots are by how much paint you put on here. So I'm just gonna do a bunch of random polka dots, but make sure if you want it to line up, oh no. If you want it to line up or match up, I'm gonna have to paint back over that one. She didn't wanna do right. So let's go ahead and repaint that one, but let's put our dots on here first. So I shouldn't have had them so close. Let's hold, I'm gonna take that tool and hold this down so then I don't have to worry about that popping up like that. So now we're just gonna put our random dots all around for the ladybug. And I don't wanna go about putting too many on here. But after we put the black dots on and we let them dry, then what we're gonna wanna do, and I wanna make them a little bit larger. We're gonna put white over them with the smaller dotting tool so they have some dimension. And like even that dot right there that got really big in the center and it's not like a perfect dot, I can put a little bit of red paint around that once it dries. And I can cover that up. So you can always fix mistakes. So I think I got enough dots, one more dot, and then we're gonna be done with dotting on this one. So look, when they come together, they're gonna be really cute. So we're gonna go and let that dry and then we'll fix any mistakes after it dries. But what I'm gonna do right quickly is I'm gonna get another brush and I'm gonna go ahead and correct the mistake I made on this one. I have a little bit of red paint left, but not enough to do anything with. So let's put a little bit more red paint on here and fix the mistake we made. And it may take a couple of coats to fix it because that black was pretty dark. And what I may have to do is make it a butt. I'm just gonna pat it on here so I can cover it really well. And then what I'll do is I'll smooth it out when I go to add the next coat. So look, I was able to cover it up. So I'm just gonna have to let it be a little bit thicker on there and then let it dry. And then I can come on here and put the ladybug dots. And then what I was sharing with you here is like, see how some of those dots, that one and one other one got larger than what I wanted? I can either leave it like it is and just put white over it, or I can put a little bit of red paint around it with my smallest dotting tool after it dries. For now, I'm gonna just leave it alone. So let's go get the buttercream paint so I can do the little white rind part that goes on the watermelon. I'm gonna rinse these off and then we'll be right back to finish up.